I'm Josh Steffler. We're here live on the McKenzie overpass with a few We Are Change members. Here's Brad. Let's go talk to Brad. Hey, Brad.
Hey, Josh. What's going on, man?
So, why are you here?
Why I'm here? Well, it's 13 years after this heinous crime was committed to get us into foreign wars. I'm sick and tired of it. And I think the people are getting a little sick and tired of it here because we've been doing this for a few years now. And it seems we're getting a lot more positive responses than we used to. Like it used to be back in the day with the shock factor and they'd probably flip you off or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting a lot more positive feedback. People are becoming more aware and people are appreciating the message a lot more.
So, what would you say to your government if you could talk to them today about 9/11?
Start working for the people and stop being a bunch of freaking treacherous, lying bastards and start getting on the case of who perpetrated these crimes. Do your job, which is to protect the people, and stop selling out.
And one final word for our viewers, perhaps?
Get involved. This is your life. It is your children's future. It's everything you work for. Why do you get out of bed? Why do you work so hard? Why do you get up early? Why do you work late? It's all these people are going to work, but what is really important is our children's future. These people are trying to hijack that, and we need to stop them. We need to say no, push back.
So I'm here with another We Are Change member, Pat. Let's talk to Pat. Pat, why are you here today?
Well, I'm here because 13 years ago we were duped into believing there's a big major terrorist attack when it was actually just a false flag, and it's time that people start demanding answers, demanding a new investigation, and demanding it be declassified.
So if you could talk to your government today, what would you tell them?
To stop lying, to declassify the files, to ask their own questions, to listen to people that are calling lies on this stuff. It's unacceptable, and it's got to stop before something else happens and we lose more liberties.
Okay, I'm here with John. John, why are you here?
Well, 9/11, look, the story stinks. That's the whole problem. I mean, you can look at it all kinds of different ways, but the way we get truth in the West, I mean, this goes back for centuries, is you got to talk about it, you got to be able to think about it, and you got to be able to have many different opinions and have them compete with one another. And unfortunately, what's happening is we get one story told all the time, and the story stinks. You know, one of them fallen down when a plane. Oh, wait a minute, that's a little weird. Two of them, and then then the last one falling down without anything hitting it, or without a plane hitting it, and they all fall straight down. And some of them falling down so fast that there's no bloody way that anything but a controlled demolition could have done it. So you just got to say, okay, look, let's think about it. Let's have this opinion presented, that opinion presented, and let's argue. And the word history is derived from the Greek word historia, meaning investigation or knowing by investigation. Now we got to investigate this as many times as possible. And okay, if some of them are wrong, all right, that's okay. But we got to keep on doing it, because 9/11, unfortunately, it stinks.
Okay, let's talk to Greg. Greg, why are you here today?
This is the 13th anniversary of September 11th, the government-sponsored false flag terrorist attack on the world, and I'm here putting up banners across the highway in Victoria, BC to get the public talking about 9/11.
And if you could say one thing to your government about 9/11, what would it be?
Why are you all such cowards that you can't even investigate thoroughly World Trade Center Building 7, a 47-story skyscraper that collapsed in 6.5 seconds into its own footprint, wasn't hit by a plane?
Anything else to say?
Yeah, it's time for people to start having this conversation and look at 9/11. I challenge you to take 9 minutes and 11 seconds to investigate 9/11. It's been 13 years. The tide has turned. People are questioning the official 9/11 conspiracy theory that the government put out, and we as people, as citizens of this world, need to come together and get this conversation going.
Okay, so we've got a cyclist that stopped. We're now at the Uptown Overpass live on 9/11, 2014. What's your name, sir?
Jesse.
And why'd you stop today?
I just kind of wanted to see what was going on here. I guess, a lot of people have questions about 9/11 on this anniversary day, and if it really did go down the way that the government and the media tell us it did. And I just thought I'd say hey and ask a few questions about what the official story is and what seems to be the truth at hand. Yeah.
Okay, Paul, why are you here today?
I'm here because I'm in support of 9/11, in investigating 9/11, finding out the truth of real history, because the more I dig into it, I realize that we haven't been told the whole story, and that scares me, because if there's people in control that are telling us lies, I think it's important that people come together, talk about it in an intellectually non-violent way, so that we can bring about more peace, more balance in this earth.
So if you could say one thing to the government about 9/11, what would it be?
I would say that if you're not riding the wave of change, then you'll find yourself beneath it, so you better start holding your breath, because you're going to be tumbling real quick.
Any final thoughts for the show?
No, I just encourage everyone to take a few minutes and do some research. Google WTC7 and look at all of the information, because I heard a saying one time, and it was basically, if I buy a lottery ticket, I may win. But the minute I buy a lottery ticket, that theory turns into a probability. And so when you take a look at 9/11, you can argue that it's a theory, but when you look at how 3 towers fell with 2 planes, well, that's your first probability. When you take a look at WTC7 that just collapses in its own footprint, exact like a symmetrical collapse, there's no asymmetrical collapse about it, there's your second probability. So when you start looking, George Bush in a classroom reading a book while the world is being attacked, Condoleezza Rice saying, "Oh, I didn't know, who knows?" These are all lottery tickets that you buy, and when you buy more lottery tickets, you have a better chance of winning. So I don't think it's so much of a theory as a probability, especially since almost all the governments around the world deny the fact that it could have been anything else. So to me, it's a big red flag when an event happens and like 30 seconds later you got a CNN correspondent or a CIA correspondent on CNN telling you who it is. So to me, that's a big red flag, because the media doesn't do that, CIA doesn't do that, unless they're there to counterintelligence the people. So I just appreciate what you guys do by putting on these TV shows and being the real press.
Okay, so loosely speaking, the free press, what we call the free press, started in 17th century England. You can make other interpretations, but that's roughly where it is. Now, there was a famous poet, John Milton, wrote a pamphlet called Areopagitica, which is the place where Athens used to do its talking. Anyway, in it, one key point was you have to have a multiplicity of different opinions being presented. That's the only way you get the truth. The key thing is, I'll tell you one sentence that he had in that. This is 17th century, and this is one sentence. And what he's essentially saying is, if there's only one position being presented, he can't support it. And he says, "I cannot praise a fugitive and cloistered virtue, unexercised and unbreathed, that never sallies out to meet her adversary, but slinks out of the race, where that immortal garland is to be won, not without dust and heat." Now, what's happened with the 9/11 in the modern media, which doesn't have the multiplicity of opinions being presented, what's happening is that one side is being presented and the rest of it is just like John Milton, I cannot support one position that is being presented. Let's investigate it and talk one way or another, then we will get the truth. And the other thing about 9/11 was it was one of those extraordinary events in history where everything turns. And there is the position, going back to the Roman times, there's the term cui bono, which is still used, and it means who benefits. So when something happens that you don't really understand, well, you look who benefits, and then you look back. And so that's what we got to do with 9/11. And so we've got those extraordinary things where a plane flies into one building and it falls down. Wow, that's a bit weird. It falls down all on its own platform. That's really weird. Then two buildings, 2 planes at the same time, essentially. Wait a minute. And then a third building goes down without a plane blowing into it. Wait a minute. And they all fall down on their own platform. And lots of experts in controlled demolition say, wait, hey, that's controlled demolition. Okay, we got to investigate this. Many different points of view have got to be brought up, and we got to talk about it. And if we can't, well, we won't get to the truth. That's what the origin of the free press is all about. Having a multiplicity of different opinions in order to get to the truth. Otherwise, you won't get it.
Okay, so why are you here today?
I'm here today because we have been told a pack of lies. There has been no real investigation into what happened on 9/11 in New York. We need a proper investigation to find out exactly who's responsible, and not the lamestream media's idea of who's responsible, the talking heads, the crap. We need to make people aware that 9/11 was the start of all of the terror and the wars in the world that we've seen since 2001. We have to raise awareness to get people on board with forcing a new investigation into 9/11.
And if you could say one thing to your government about 9/11, what would it be?
Get a new investigation going. Quit sitting on your hands. Quit being in collusion with those that perpetrated 9/11. And let's get a real investigation going. Only by forcing our governments to take action and forcing the U.S. government to take action are we going to see a real investigation happen.
All right, I'm here with Henry. Henry, why are you here?
Well, I'm here today because it's the 13th anniversary of 9/11, and I'm here to help raise awareness about 9/11 by dropping banners. We've done a banner drop on the McKenzie overpass to get people thinking about 9/11 and asking questions about the official story and the things in the 9/11 commission that were omitted.
And what do you want to tell your government?
Well, I tell them the same thing that we tell people we have conversations with on the street, that people are starting to wake up and scratch their heads and they're questioning the events of the 9/11, the official story. And it's time to take a look at the 9/11 Commission again and make sure people have all the answers that they need, especially the family members of the victims.
This is Greg Hill with WeAreChangeVictoria.org, and I'm here with one of the co-chairs of We Are Change Victoria, Josh Steffler. He is one of the most prolific champions for liberty that I've ever known or seen in my entire life. He runs for city council. He stands up on a daily basis for your freedoms and liberties as an individual. He is out here pushing freedom so that you and your families can live a better life. Josh has questions about the September 11th attacks in 2001. And Josh, maybe you can tell us a little bit about why you're here.
Well, I'm here because for the longest time I didn't care about 9/11. I was busy, 20-year-old man, having a good time. And then one day these guys handed me a DVD about World Trade Center 7, and I sat down and watched it for a laugh. And it shattered my paradigm, my whole thought about 9/11, that it wasn't actually cave-dwelling freedom haters in Afghanistan, that there was a very real possibility that there was controlled demolitions happening that day. Then I started looking at the Pentagon and wondering why the world's most defended building in the planet was able to be hit by a 747. That didn't make sense, and I didn't question it. I just accepted what the media and what the news and the government was telling me, and it took just some guys handing me a DVD to shake me and wake me up. So now I have to do that for other people, because I know I'm not out here calling people sheep. I'm not out here pretending that I'm better than you, that I have some hidden knowledge. I just know that most people don't know, and we got to wake people up. Give them that DVD. Give them at least the chance to see the world as I see the world. And I started seeing all of the civil liberties that we were losing and how 9/11 was being used as a mechanism to dismantle these hard-won freedoms that are a new experiment for humanity, really. The freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of religion, all these things, for the longest time in history, humanity, the average humanity, hasn't had. So I had to stand up. I had to get involved, and once I started doing it, I realized that it's a lot of fun. You know, it's not just work, that you come out here, you have great conversations, you wake people up, you meet great people, great friends, you're out enjoying the beautiful weather, you know, and it becomes habit forming, right? Pushing liberty, pushing freedom, trying to defend civil liberties and freedoms from a tyrannical, authoritarian government that's using everything in its power to undermine a free society, to create an authoritarian regime.
So what is it about the government that you don't trust?
Well, constantly they're caught lying. Every single government has been caught in lies and scandals. I woke up to the fact that, you know, taxes might not be this benevolent thing for society, that we just haven't reached this point in humanity where we've realized that taking people's money without asking and forcing them to buy things that they may not want is actually a terrible thing. It's not benevolent and kind to force your beliefs onto somebody else. And so I discovered voluntarism and libertarianism, and I want to tell the government, you know, stop lying. Look at 9/11, and you MPs in Ottawa have the courage to stand up and look at architects and engineers for 9/11 truth. Look at all the lies and the disinformation that was in the 9/11 Commission. Stand up for your constituents, stand up for your countrymen, stand up now before humanity looks like Orwell warned us, where it's a boot smashing on the face of humanity for the rest of eternity.
So maybe you can share with the viewers some of the things that you've done to talk about 9/11, people that have come to town, other activities you do to raise awareness about 9/11.
Okay, so when I became part of We Are Change, at first I was just a participant listening, and I noticed we weren't doing much activities anymore, so I got involved in organizing banner drops, DVD handouts, where we'd go downtown and hand DVDs out to people for free. We would organize speakers to come. Niels Harrett from Architects and Engineers, Richard Gage from Architects and Engineers. We brought Richard Gage here 3 times now, and if you haven't seen Richard Gage, come next time we bring him, because you know We Are Change is bringing Richard Gage back. This guy is an amazing man, and he just drops the truth like no one else. Makes it interesting. We do chalkathons. We raise awareness through writing messages on chalk, putting up posters, and just talking about liberty and freedom in every chance we get. We organize rallies. I've run for municipal council, for provincial election. I tried to run for federal election. So if you live in Esquimalt, you know, and things like the liberty of your children, the constitution of your country, the foundation of a free society are important to you, vote Josh Steffler, because I'm running. And I'm running for freedom, so you better catch up, or you'll be left behind.
Josh, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to, or that you admire and appreciate for the work that they do in the activism community?
Yeah, Canada has some great liberty activists. I want to do a huge shout out to Richard Heathen of Liberty Machine News. We've got Dan Dix for Press for Truth. We've got Frankie Gotts and Terry Wilson of the Canadian Awareness Network. You know, there's so many people. We got Tyrone Drummond of Ottawa 9/11 Truth. Jamie Scott of the Truth Party, Vancouver. You know, James McDonald of Vancouver 9/11 Truth. So many good people in Canada fighting for liberty and justice. Check them out online. They've all got websites, and we're proud to stand with them for liberty and 9/11 truth.
What is your vision for the future?
It's a big vision. It's a big idea. It's freedom, it's liberty, it's people being able to express themselves freely without fear. It's people voluntarily funding the programs and the issues that they want, that they need. It's no longer having a drug war, no longer having a government that is invading our privacy and engaging in a surveillance war. It's not having a police state, it's having peace officers that are there to protect the citizens and serve the public, not hide in bushes and hand out tickets. It is men, women, and children having the time in their lives to enjoy the things that they enjoy, rather than working for 40 hours to fund perpetually growing debt that will never be paid off. So, sound money, freedom, liberty, less government. It's utopia, really. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen with your help and with all of our help. We can't do it without you. Free society needs your help. And I'm out here trying to make it happen, and I need your help.
So here we are, end of the day. It's 10 after 6. Paul, this has been an incredible afternoon. How are things going?
I'd say at least 10% of the, I don't know, maybe 100,000 cars honked or waved or something. There was only like 1 or 2 people that had a negative comment. And it might be because the Canadian flag is upside down, which could be misinterpreted by a lot of people if they don't know the subject matter of what this is about. So
sure.
But to those that already know about 9/11 and know more than what the media has told us, then that rings a real good truth to them, because they know that Canada is in peril.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. What do you think, Brett?
It's been great. Relation to the public all day long has been really good. All these guys are basically telling us that they kind of get it. They know there's something wrong, and they know that we have some goods here. Otherwise, they wouldn't be giving us such a positive response.
Oh man, it's been absolutely phenomenal. As you said, Greg, we've seen 300,000 cars today, and the response, it tells me people are sick of it. People are waking up. They're ready to. This is where it's at, people. Like, grab some banners, go stand in your overpass, and it's the biggest impact you'll have. So, 9/11, people aren't going to take it. They're talking about some ISIS stuff. People aren't going to believe it, guys. So let's keep doing this.
So what do you got to say?
Well, this has been a great day. I think we've laid a good, solid foundation. People want a new investigation into 9/11, but we actually have to get out there and do the work. All these people saw these signs, and we're building people that when there's calls for a new investigation into 9/11, more and more people are becoming that, hey, yeah, that guy that just stands in the back, hey, yeah. We made a lot of those guys today. Massive fun, really good exposure, and it's a captive audience. We've had 300,000 cars come by, 600,000 eyes at least have seen these signs. Freedom starts here. wearechange.victoria.org. What do you think about today, man? How did it go?
Well, having set up in 2 locations was pretty badass. And, being here, we have the signs on the bamboo poles. That works pretty excellent. So I'd say people try that. And, we're rocking the We Are Change Victoria banner. So many people are giving honks. I can't stop. You can't stop smiling. You just feel really good. People coming this way, we're not even waving at the people behind us, and they're still honking. And you're just getting it from all sides. It feels great.
So hopefully watching this at home inspires you to go do this in your town. Be it, we know that there's people out there in Edmonton, Vancouver, Montreal, Victoria, Saanich, all of the cities in BC, Canada. Get out there, find an overpass, throw up some 9/11 truth banners, or throw up banners that make you care, that you're passionate about, because a free society needs to be defended by people who value free speech, liberty, justice. It's what we're doing. Final thought?
So there are literally thousands of people driving home outside of Victoria, BC right now. We have banners up over the McKenzie Highway 1 overpass. We are getting hundreds and hundreds of honks. We've only been here for about 45 minutes. Thumbs up. Lots of people are really excited that we're out here. This is the 4th year that We Are Change Victoria has been out putting these banners up, communicating with the people of Victoria putting this information out online. We have an amazing crew. I want to give a big thank you to everybody that's participated in this and everybody that's signed up to our Facebook group and Twitter and comes to our weekly meetings, comes to our movie nights, participates, gets involved. Because the thing is, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right, and that's what we're out doing. We're having fun, and we've really become a really tight crew, and this is fantastic. So thank you so much for watching. Get involved, have fun with it, and make the most of every opportunity in your life, and go for it. Investigate 9/11. I'm Greg Hill with WeAreChangeVictoria.org and Freedom Free for All TV. We'll see you next time.